Hello, everyone. Let me ask you a question. Are you thinking about the Nintendo Switch 2? Are you thinking about, should I get one? And if so, why? Well, I'm going to give you a convincing argument that if you haven't bought one yet, I think you should consider the PS5 far more than the Switch 2, and here's why. Nintendo, they make some pretty good games, I'm not gonna lie. I like my Switch. I really do. I think the Switch is a fun little tablet system. For me, it's not as fun as it should be because I just don't really have any friends to play multiplayer-based games with, such as Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, Monster Hunter, things of that nature. And if you do, then I envy you. But maybe you're looking at the Switch 2 like it's a different beast, and it kinda is. It's taking the same formula as the Switch, but it's also entering a new realm of gaming for Nintendo. This is the first time Nintendo has caught back up on par with the other guys. And that begs a question. What is Nintendo, what is it worth to go the Nintendo route? And I'm going to give some pros. The pros to the Switch 2, and this is something that I'm thinking about later on. Not right now, because right now there's only two main games for the Switch 2. That is Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza. Both games that I would like to play, but at the same time, are they enough to justify a brand new console purchase? To that I have to say, I don't think so. I don't think they are, especially with Mario Kart being $80 digitally and $90 physically. And that's after a $450 console purchase. And actually that's going to go up because of the tariffs. So this has problems. And I'm going to explain why I think PlayStation 5 is a better route to take. PlayStation 5 has been out for about 5 years now, which means that even though the console is still quite a bit of money, there is a lot of functionality you can get for it. There's a lot of bang for your buck, such as all the features that you can do with it. The first thing that I'm going to point out is, okay, you want something that you can take, that you can pick up, and that you can play on the go. Well, Sony's had this for a little while now. It's called the PlayStation Portal. Is it a true handheld? No. But what this allows you to do is connect to the PS5 via Wi-Fi, and you don't even actually need the PS5. There is a beta in place right now that if you have a PlayStation account with PlayStation Plus, with that's like the Netflix service one. It's the second and third tier. Well, you can play those games via Wi-Fi through this, so that's pretty cool. So, like, let's say for example, because I live here in Japan, let's say I want to go on vacation and I go to Hokkaido or Okinawa or even like South Korea or something. I don't know. Just hypothetically speaking. Well, I bring this with me, and I can connect, as long as I have a decent Wi-Fi connection, I could connect right onto the PS5. Pretty cool. Not to mention this thing has a beautiful screen. It has really nice controllers. It does play pretty smoothly. You do want to have a decent connection, and it's pretty good. Can't complain. So the Switch is like, oh, well, I want to take it on the go, and I want to play it at home. Well, there's also another option you can do with PlayStation, and that is PlayStation Remote Play on your phone. It's the same thing as the PlayStation Portal, just smaller, and you can get an attachable adapter for this as well. Do I have it? No. But you can also do another thing where you can take a DualSense controller and you can pair it Bluetooth and works like a charm. You could even use PS4 controllers. Speaking of PS4, that's another beauty of the PS5. You get two consoles in one. You get the PS4 and the PS5, which is pretty awesome. So, like, if you're going through a game store and you see all these PS4 titles that are really cheap, pick them up. It's that simple. Whether it's physical or digital, you already have a huge library, unlike the Switch 2, which, like, here's the problem with the Switch 2's library. The Switch 2 is finally coming to a place where, yeah, they're finally going to get modern day games. Like, during their big direct, we got to see quite a few games coming to it. Elden Ring, Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know if Call of Duty's coming to it, but we are going to start seeing modern day games come out on all these different systems. But here's the problem. Let's say you get the Switch 2, and that was like all your money. Well, either you have to deal with Switch 1 games that do not run at improved performance rates. That's a huge difference with the PS5. You put a PS4 game in, you install it on the M.2 internal SSD, and those games, some may have PS5 free updates. And so you put the disc in, and you install the PS5 version, and bada boom, bada bing, you have a next-gen version. Which means nicer graphics, haptic feedback on the controller, virtually no load times. It is great. And not just that, but 4K HDR. Like, the PS5 versions are hard to ignore. Now, a lot of people may ask, well, Nintendo has their first-party lineup. Yeah, so does Sony. Sony makes games that are always contenders for Game of the Year. Every single year. There was a point where Sony had hit after hit after hit. Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West, Bloodborne. So many good games. God of War, Ragnarok, Ghost of Tsushima. This year we may be seeing the sequel for Ghost of Yotei. I don't know how I feel about that game right now. There's a lot of weird politics in gaming, but honestly, I'm not too fearful of it. Even though with the rumors, there's not that many rumors, and that's the thing. I think if it was gonna be really, really bad, like with the Assassin's Creed Shadow incident, we'd be seeing a lot more, but we're not. Gran Turismo 7, amazing. Ace Combat 7, amazing. And speaking of Ace Combat 7, here's something that's really cool you could do with the PS5 that you can't do with the Switch 2. PSVR. This baby right here is so cool. You can be flying a jet in VR. Which, if you like motion controls, guess what? Sony has motion controllers. Don't mind this guy. This is the navigation remote, which is so underutilized for PS3. This is a PS3 thing. But this is for PS4 and PSVR and also PS3. It's a Move controller. There's a lot of jokes about this controller. We will not be saying them in this video. But, like, not only that, if you get a game like, there's a few titles that take this, but this is the PlayStation Aim controller. It's really cool. It gives you a pretty solid gun feel. Not too many games take it, but the point is, it's available. But let's say VR1's not up to your high standards. Well, good news, everyone. There's a VR2. That's right. If you want to see them side by side, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Both are great. So if you play any game using this, and it's not a VR game, it just basically makes a giant monitor, and it runs everything at 1080, and it runs everything in 60 frames standard. This is the beauty of the PS5. We're not dealing with, like, oh, well, these games run at 30. No. That's not a thing anymore. Like, the PS5 has very high frame rates. If you play games like Doom Eternal, you're getting 120 frames. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, 120 frames. There's a ton of great games that will run at 120. Also, for anyone wondering, this is a VR2 controller. I love this thing. So good. So, like, one of my favorite games I've been playing recently on VR2, even though I'm not very good at it, is Resident Evil 4 Remake and Resident Evil 8 Village. Both of these games run in VR. Capcom does such an amazing job with their VR, and like with Resident Evil and the VR, so good. I do have one complaint though, even though it's the game I'm not good at and I'm afraid to play. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. A game that was famous for being made for VR for PS4 and PC has a PS5 version that doesn't have VR2. I don't know how to feel about that, but come on, Capcom. Come on. You could do better. But not only that, here's the thing, and I know there's nothing official yet, it is all rumors. I truly believe that we will see a new Sony handheld sooner than later. There has been SKUs for it. There has been rumor after rumor. There is 2 SKUs shown for what is perceived to be the PlayStation 6. And right now we have no idea about the PS6. But I think that, well, here's the thing. The SKU shows 2 things on it. A really high-end CPU tier and a slightly lower one. And they're in the same architecture range. So that means that like they'll be able to play games pretty similarly with each other. And I personally think that lesser SKU will be a handheld. Sony is a hardware manufacturer. This is not rocket science. Also, for anyone wondering, this is my PS5. It has the Shinsengumi design. I took it out and I spray painted it myself. It's not the best, but I love it. When I can get the money, I want to get a PS5 Pro. I don't really care what anybody has to say. Like, if I can get a console that can run the 120 frames and super 4K HDR, all the best things combined, ray tracing, all these good things, that's what I want. That's all I want. And honestly, I just want to remain in the PlayStation ecosystem. Like, sure, maybe Nintendo will release a game that will blow my mind and actually have, like, real merits to it. But right now, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait because I know there's going to be an OLED version in a year or so. I'm a broke boy right now, so there's that. But, like, I don't like the idea that on the Switch 2, if you want AAA games that have been out for a while, have fun paying $70 price tags for them because It's new on Nintendo. Like, I'll give you a good example. One of my favorite games ever that is coming to the Switch, and I really hope this new version comes out on PS5, Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. This game, Yakuza 0, is amazing. I played it on PS4 for far too many hours. Far too many hours. And Yakuza 0 is heartfelt, serious, crime drama, GTA style, beat 'em brawler. It is funny. It made me sad. There's so many good things about it. It's its own video. It's its own video. But, like, I don't want to pay $70 for that just because it's new for Nintendo. And sure, the director's cut may end up costing like $50, $60 for PS5, maybe 70. I don't know. It depends on Sega and RGG Studios. But let's say you get a PS5. Just get a cheap copy of Yakuza 0 for the PS5 and problem solved. Bada boom, bada bing. It's pretty cool. Also, here's another problem with the Switch 2. They're only giving you, what was it, like 256 gigabytes of storage. Well, it sounds nice until you realize you're now dealing with PS5 levels of games for the Switch 2. So that's going to fill up really quick. That's going to fill up the same way that like the 32 gigs on the Switch 1 filled up. And Nintendo's not letting you just get a standard SD card for this system. No. They are making you get specialty micro SD cards that will probably cost a lot. But you know what's really cool about the PS5 here? This is a 4 terabyte hard drive. So let's say you're just getting PS4 games. You can fill this sucker up for real cheap. And not to mention, you can get these up to 8 terabytes. Don't go past 8 terabytes. I bought a 14 terabyte external hard drive from Western Digital. It is actually right underneath my desk. It is used for my PC. It's used for my PC now. It was originally planned to store all my PS4 games. Then I realized that it told me, hey, you can't go over 8. So, please remember that. Please remember that, yeah, 8 is the max. Not only that, but let's say you want to update this baby here, the internal M.2 NVMe SSD. Well, you do have options. So it's going to give you about 668 gigabytes internally. It's not terrible. Just, it depends on what kind of games you get. Like if you're getting any of the Call of Duties like Warzone, let's say you got 2 Call of Duties. You're already done. I don't like to support Call of Duty due to the fact that they are really irresponsible with data management. Their game saves are way too big, and it's irresponsible. Like, you're lucky to have 4 games if you put in 2 Call of Duty games. But that's just my rant on Call of Duty and the PS5. It's really bad. But, yeah. So you can get in another internal storage M.2 NVMe. You can get it in tons of different sizes, and just like the external hard drive, 8 is the max. So you could essentially have 8.6 internally and 8 externally for PS4 games. That's a lot of games. That is a ton of games. And it's so nice. It's so nice because all the things that you want are just there. And like, this is a real system. This is not like some weird hybrid that has a dock and has all these weird little things. Because here's the problem with the Switch 2 that I see for a lot of things. oh, you want to like you want to upgrade it, but there's like limitations on how you can upgrade. Like, who's to say Nintendo's going to let you use a hard drive? They may not. They may just say, "Go away, go away." You can either buy these micro SD cards, and that's it. Also, here's the thing: PS5 games and PS4 games, the whole game's on this Blu-ray. So if you're a physical game guy, which I'm kind of half and half, I'm more digital than physical because I buy a lot of things on sale, but the point is, the whole game, like Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, has the entire game on here. Lost Judgment, same thing. The entire game's on there. Also, here's the thing that Nintendo will never do. You like DVDs and Blu-ray movies? Nintendo's not going to have that. And I know a lot of people are moving away from it, but I think we need to get more invested in physical media to keep it alive. But you can have just like how the PS2 popularized DVDs, the PS5, you can still be playing DVDs and Blu-ray. There's no issues there. So, there is that. Also, PS5, this is a PS5 Edge controller, so it is a hefty boy. It's really nice. You get a lot of options. Here's another big deal. Let's say you want to get into streaming. That Switch 2's camera is not good. It has incredibly low frame rate, horrible microphone access, and not to mention, it is at best 1080. At best. Actually, the Hori model that looks like a piranha plant is only 480. The same output the GameCube had. Let that sink in. It's really bad. But on top of my monitor here, let me see if I can focus here. Yeah. This camera here and this camera here, both HD cameras. If you're wondering what the difference is, this is a PS4 camera. I primarily just use that for the VR one. But the fact is, it'll work on your PS5. You may have to you will need the adapter, but that is so easy to get. But yeah, that's the reality here. The PS5, yeah, it is a big chunk of money to buy a PS5, but so is everything else. A Series X, really expensive, and no first-party games, because Xbox doesn't care about making games. Nintendo, extremely expensive and only going to get more expensive, and we don't know what their future plans will be. Sony is the most consistent, has the most games. Like, you're going to be seeing games non-stop. Black Myth Wukong, Lost Soul Aside, the new Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater Delta. They keep changing all these names that I can never keep up with. Also, here's the thing with Nintendo that drives me insane with the Switch. It wasn't an issue with the Wii U or any other system. But let's say you want to get a game like Kingdom Hearts. Let's say you've never played Kingdom Hearts and you always thought, I like Disney. I like Square. I like the Final Fantasy games. I want to get into this series, and please do. Kingdom Hearts is amazing. Just because it gets made fun of all the time doesn't mean it doesn't deserve your attention. The PS5, well, technically the PS4 has all of them in one bundle. And you can get them all together. And Kingdom Hearts 3, all of the games, all together. If you want to get the Kingdom Hearts for Switch 1, it is a cloud service only game. Which makes no sense. And I'm going to tell you why. The same publisher, Square Enix, released one of their big hit games called Nier Automata for the Switch. And Nier Automata is a cool game, which you can get for PlayStation because that's where it started. Nier Automata is bigger than most of the PS2 Kingdom Hearts combined. And it fits on a Switch game card. That's right, it fits on a Switch game card. Same with Resident Evil 7. Cloud only. Why? I think Resident Evil 2 Remake is also cloud only. That one I'm going to give a slight pass because that game is running at a much bigger graphical boost than what the Switch probably can do on its own. Sorry. But with that, that's just a lot to think about. And my 2 cents are, get a PS5. Enjoy PlayStation. Enjoy chatting with your friends that doesn't require an online subscription. Enjoy PS1 games that have been boosted for the PS5. Also PS2 games and PSP games. That's right. This is PS1, 2, PSP, PS4, PS5. I wish PS3 was on here too, but it kinda is. If you get the premium tier for the PlayStation Plus, you can stream PS3 games, but unfortunately they cannot be played natively as of now, as of recording this. And I keep hoping that with the new head of PlayStation and the new head of Sony, Totoki Hiroki, I love that name. Oh my god, I can never get tired of saying that name. Totoki Hiroki. I don't know what his last name and first name is. This is kind of the problem with Japanese names. Some are easy, like Tanaka, Suzuki, Honda. You know, there's a lot of common names. Saito. But then there's just a lot of names where it's like, which is the first and which is the last? I don't know. But again, there's so many good things, and with the new head of PlayStation, everything's going back to Japan. Everything's going back to gamers first. Everything's going back to the Japanese style like the PS2 was. It's so good. I love it. And with that, please buy a PS5, or at least consider it. And make Nintendo earn you back. That is a big deal. Let them earn you back. Don't just blindly go for the new Switch 2 when you're going to be paying a lot more for it than you know. And it's not cool. But anyway, have fun, everyone. Enjoy your hobbies and just like what you like, do what you do. Mata ne.